Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hi, welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 287, In a Lonely Place. My name is Eric.
My name is Joe.
I don't know what's happening to me right now.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I don't know.
Great way to start the show.
Yep.
Hi.
Oh, boy.
I liked it. It felt friendly.
Good. So
As opposed to our typically cold interactions.
we are.
Hey, welcome to the Viewmasters.
We are usually very robotic to each other.
Yes, we are.
Oh, Lord.
Indeed. How are things?
Cold. Things are cold.
Yeah. Yeah. Things are very cold.
Are they that way up north there as well?
They are cool, but they are very wet. And then at night it gets cold. So yeah, generally a cold feeling all around.
Sure. Yeah. It's I was at work today, and I came home as one usually does when you leave the house to go to work, and then. Like I hit like the intersection, like where the town where I live is, and suddenly like the streets were white.
Oh wow! Okay,
like, what the hell is this? and I mean, it literally took me a moment to realize that that was snow.
Did they paint the streets while I was at work today?
It was weird because I mean, it was literally like a block away, nothing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. This has been Weather Wrap Up.
Weather Wrap Up. Yeah. Oh, boy.
You want to just get right into this movie?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
All right. In a Lonely Place.
What you got?
I don't know what I got.
Okay.
I got some issues with it for sure.
Oh, all right. Yeah, it's not what I didn't remember a lot about it because I think I mentioned when I picked it I had seen it when I was in college, but that was like 20 years ago, so
sure.
I don't remember that.
How would you?
It did right. Who remembers stuff from back then unless it's terrible?
Exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected either.
Yeah, no, this is definitely not what I was expecting for sure. It has all the trappings of a noir. It's labeled as a noir. I looked up on the Wikipedia. It's considered one of the greatest noir films ever made. It's like there's a noir movie that happens, but it's off screen.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if what we think of as noir is crime,
yeah,
then definitely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is... It starts off sort of feeling like a noir. Like, it's almost kind of DOA-ish.
Right.
Like, where he's suspected of this murder, and there's a sort of mysterious femme fatale neighbor, and then it gets past that probably within about 20 minutes.
Yeah. So this is a 1950 movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Starring Humphrey Bogart, who I believe I mentioned last week. I have never seen a movie with him in it.
Yes, you did mention that, and I'm still somewhat gobsmacked by that.
I mean, if I have, I do not remember it. But watching this, I mean, I obviously know who he is. He is sort of an icon of American film. And after watching this, I kind of had to wonder why.
Aww.
He's...
Ouch.
I mean, so part of it is, like, in this movie, and they go to great lengths to reiterate this numerous times, that he is undeniably attractive to women of all types.
That I do not get at all. I do not see the animal magnetism of Humphrey Bogart in this movie. Because he's like a drunken dick.
Yeah. I would like to just point out real quick, the very first spoken line of this film is Dick Steele.
That's right.
It's yelled out, and I maybe wasn't looking exactly at my subtitles at the moment, but it took me for a shock.
It's if his name had been Dick Steele and not Dix Steele.
Yes.
There's a big distinction there. Yeah, I'm glad they don't call him by his full name super often. Because it's a little goofy.
It's goofy, but also, it's also at least not Brub Nikolai.
Right. Wait, was it Brub or Grub?
Brub.
Was it Brub? Okay.
Yeah, B-R-U-B.
I did not watch this with subtitles, so I thought it was Grub, but
mean,
Brub is really a choice.
Neither of them are great, but at least I know what a grub is.
Yeah, I assumed it was Grub, like a short nickname for something.
Sure, like when that character is introduced, Dix Steele, just says Brub, and the subtitle on it was BRUB, and I was like, oh well, that's like a short version of like Brubaker or something like that. But no, that's that guy's first name.
I think you would also be not like faulted for thinking, oh, they fucked up the subtitle on this.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Because that's not a word. Like at least Dixon, I'm familiar with that. I've seen that before. Never heard of Brub.
Nope.
Before right now. That's really something.
I mean, that's what you're gonna name your first child now, right?
I mean, we're not having kids because we're selfish, according to Pope Francis. But maybe next time we get a dog, we'll name him Brub.
Okay, well, that's fair.
If I ever get to write a Wolverine story, he's gonna call somebody Brub in that. Like if it's like I was gonna call him Bro, and then I was gonna call him Bub, and in my head I just got mixed up, and it came out as Brub. I don't feel great about it. I'm the best there is at what I do. What I do is not speak coherently.
Oh.
Call me Marvel. I'm available.
And you have just cemented the best X-Men related pitch I've heard in like 15 years. I mean, that is a stronger take on the X-Men than what is currently happening.
Oh, yeah. A little bit.
Oh, Captain Krakoa.
I actually like that book.
Oh my god.
I like Jerry Duggan. I'm into that series. At least, as much as I am into any Marvel book. I like that book.
All right.
It's entertaining to me. I like good Ben Urich content.
I do. I also do like good Ben Urich content.
And Ben Good Urich. content.
Yeah, I'm also, much like Wolverine, I am not the best at speaking coherently here.
Are you drunk, Eric?
No.
Have you had multiple horses' necks? There's no alcohol in that. That's just ginger ale with a lemon twist.
Yes, it is, and that is also the second of only 2 notes that I took during this whole movie.
I remembered that in my head.
I wanted to make sure, so I wrote it down.
I will never forget that, I think. I drink a lot of ginger ale, and I'm going to have to start getting lemons to go with it.
Yeah. Let me know how that tastes.
I will.
And of course,
oh boy,
you have to refer to it always as a horse's neck.
Of course, yeah.
That is the proper name for that drink.
That's what it's known as. Oh, shit.
Oh, boy. So the plot of this movie... it's Dixon Steele is a famous screenwriter.
Yes.
Which I guess is a thing.
Yeah, I picked another movie about a screenwriter.
Yeah. But, I feel like... famous screenwriters. It just feels like a real... Hollywood wish fulfillment thing.
I mean, it might just be that, and I wonder if this is like a studio system thing, where it was a thing at the time maybe for screenwriters to be well known, at least among their peers, because he runs into those kids who ask for his autograph pretty early on, and he asks them if they know who he is, and they say no. I loved that. Because, he's just a writer.
Yeah. But he is a writer, and we see him driving, against a projected background.
No, I'm pretty sure that was all real.
Oh, okay. I mean,
every time all the driving sequences were shot on location.
I got new glasses a while back, and it's still taking me a while to get used to things.
Sure. James Wan actually named this movie as an inspiration for his work on the Fast and the Furious movies. You look that up on Wikipedia. I don't know how to edit Wikipedia.
I'll do it later.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please do.
So we see him driving. He pulls up to an intersection and immediately gets into an argument with a dude.
Right.
And to give us sort of a hint that Dixon Steele is not quite socially well adjusted.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a temper.
Yeah. So throughout the movie, his temper is tested, and I'm gonna say every single time he is in the right.
Okay.
Okay,
wow,
maybe not
right.
every single time. It gets a bit iffy towards the end.
Yeah, thank you.
No, but up until then, his argument with the dude in the car, his arguments with the guy at the bar, moments later, I feel like he's justified in his reactions there.
I agree. I agree there. I mean, maybe I don't know. Actually, yeah. Now that I think about it. Getting out of the car to fight someone in an intersection is an escalation for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but I get why he did
exactly,
it.
Yeah. You and I, we are both quick to anger. And then we do our best to not react negatively when situations happen like that. But I could definitely see at earlier time and cultural society that you and I totally would just go off all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I take medication for that now,
Yeah,
so hopefully I've got it under control.
And I just avoid people, so,
Right, which is also totally valid. It's hard to avoid them when you're driving down the street and they just start talking to you from another car.
That is true. But, and like that guy's wife was just, she'd be friendly.
She was being friendly. Yeah, I didn't feel like he had done anything wrong there, and then the guy's wife just flies off the handle. So yeah, no, fuck that guy.
Yeah, seriously. So we get the picture that he's not a great dude, and that leads to him inviting a woman to his house to give him a synopsis of a book that he is being tapped to adapt into a movie.
Right.
And she is intolerable.
She's a bit dim. But I mean, she gets the job done. She tells him what he needs to know.
Yeah, I guess.
But are you saying you can see why she ended up dead later that evening?
Maybe.
That also is an escalation, I think.
Yeah, it really was. But Humphrey Bogart's palpable sense of annoyance with her was I felt it.
Yeah.
like 100% on his side with that. And he does the gentlemanly thing. He just politely kicks her out of his apartment. But he is the last person to be seen with her, and the next morning she is dead. And he is accused.
Right.
And so that's where you think the plot is going into like this murder mystery level. But it never really does. I mean, a bit here and there.
Yeah.
But then somehow it turns into a love story between two kind of bad people. And
yeah, I can't. Is Laurel bad?
She's not great.
She's fine.
I guess.
I didn't have a problem with her.
I don't know. Just
tell me why you hate her.
I don't hate her. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that we are told multiple times that Humphrey Bogart is just a sex god,
right?
And also she is lusted after by apparently multiple men as well, and Bogart falls completely in love with her like after just like a brief exchange.
Right.
And honestly, that sort of therein lies my problem with the whole movie is that this takes place in like 3 days.
It is a very I don't really know what the time frame is. I think it's longer than 3 days because he has time to write a whole screenplay in there. But yeah, I think maybe it's just a few weeks. It does feel kind of rushed.
I was with you. I felt like there was a time jump, but then somebody refers to, the fact that, like, what's her, Madeline Atkinson or something? Was that her name?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Has been dead for like 2 days. And I was like, the fuck?
Mildred Atkinson.
Mildred, yes.
All right, maybe I'm giving the movie the benefit of the doubt. It feels like she moves in with him very quickly, even though I know she doesn't move in with him.
No, I mean, they're neighbors.
Yeah.
Which, I had a very long time relationship with a woman who was my neighbor. And I gotta say, that's kind of there's a reason that, like, that was the longest relationship I was ever in.
Yeah.
Because, we still lived separately, but also, she was right above me.
Yeah.
So
whoa.
It's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah. It is. It's good to have your own space, for sure.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a room in the house or whatever, that's just yours that you can retreat to. It is good.
Yeah. So, I'm going to say, I am pro, maybe couples should just, like, rent neighboring apartments.
It almost sounds like you're pro man cave.
I'm not anti-man cave.
Just depends on the cave.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the contents of the cave.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh
boy, yeah. So yeah, they get together pretty quickly.
Yeah.
While the investigation of the murder is still going on. And from there it sort of becomes just over time this drama about her being paranoid that maybe he did actually do it, and his behavior starts to become, or she gets glimpses of his temper and his sort of erratic violent behavior, and she hears from people that he has been violent with women in the past. And so yeah, then it really becomes just about her being suspicious of him and the deterioration of their relationship as a result.
Right. And then there's I will admit that I throughout the movie as it went on, I gained quite a bit of sympathy for Dixon Steele.
Okay.
Just, especially towards the end, not when he, does attempt a murder.
Right.
But just, clearly he is a guy who, not a lot has gone right for him in life. It's referred to that he was, in the war. So clearly, an undiagnosed PTSD.
Sure.
And probably some, deep underlying psychological issues that if he would just get help, probably could have overcome them. But, he was a middle-aged man in the 50s. He was not going to do that.
Yes. I definitely, multiple times throughout the movie, had the thought that this movie would not be happening if he would just go to therapy.
There's even a scene where his agent was like, I tried to convince him to go to see a doctor. Which, when I heard that line, I was just like, that is pretty liberal for the 50s.
True, it definitely is.
Late 40s, I guess, actually.
That's true, yeah, they would have been making it in the late 40s. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, he's a guy who I had a hard time sympathizing with him, at least, like I get, it's assuming that he is innocent of this crime, you know, it sucks that the police are still looking into him.
Right.
And I totally get being frustrated about that. But then, like, I feel like it just, like, he's on just a hair trigger. Like, it takes nothing to turn him off or to set him off.
Right.
Like, he finds out that Laurel has talked to the detective or the sergeant or whoever is in charge of the investigation, and, like, immediately is like, "You're all out to get me." Like, he's so paranoid.
Yeah. I mean, he does take big swings, mood-wise anyway. And physically.
And physically,
yeah.
yes. Occasionally, almost with rocks.
Yep. And then I think multiple times he tries to, like, sort of, like, buy away his guilt in those situations too.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, also not great.
Yeah, I feel like kind of classic abuser behavior.
Sure, yeah.
Like, oh, I messed up. Now I'm extremely contrite.
Yeah.
Over what I did. Messed up.
Yeah.
like it's, you know what I mean.
I absolutely do, and I think, you know, personal experiences, you know, have sort of led me to, you know, not to say both sides, you know, but
yeah,
you know, I definitely felt, you know, some of that, you know, through personal experience, you know, of what he was doing.
Sure.
You know, and of course, but, you know, it's also me having an awareness of, you know, mental illness in general and my own mental illness.
Right.
That I can be like, oh, you know, red flags.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, again, 1950s America, it's, you know, that's just a man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of just what you get.
Yeah, right.
Like, make me a sandwich.
Yep. And, you know, he has his, I mean, I don't want to say cute moments, but, you know, he has his somewhat nice moments.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they are two people who have genuine affection for each other. If not for his temper.
Right. I think that's sort of the other main issue that I have with the movie, is that I felt no chemistry between them whatsoever.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how old Gloria Graham is in this.
Yeah.
But he and maybe he's not super old either. I'll look right now.
He, I think, is about 50.
Okay, yeah, it looks like. And she was born in 1923, so she would have been 27 in this movie.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, there's a decent age gap.
Well, you know, even Brub and his wife have to be like, you know, a 30 years age difference there too. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. I will say, Gloria Graham, Humphrey Bogart is batting way out of his league in this movie. Gloria Graham is gorgeous.
She is. All the women in this movie are kind of gorgeous.
Yes, all three of them.
Yes, all three. As we mentioned last week, it's more than Glengarry Glen Ross.
That's true.
Yeah, Humphrey Bogart. I don't understand. He's not a great actor. And he is not an attractive man. Yet he became one of the most well-known stars in cinema history.
I think she at one point says she says that she noticed him because he has an interesting face, and I feel like that's an excellent descriptor for Humphrey Bogart. Like he's kind of a character actor before there were character actors. I feel like. just from other stuff that I've seen him in, and he's charming in other more well-known movies, I guess, like Casablanca or The Maltese Falcon or stuff like that. There's not a ton of charm on display from him in this movie. I think just by virtue of the character that he's playing.
That is fair. I mean, yeah, he is not playing a particularly charming person, but yet people still like him and flock around him. and
well, he's a famous screenwriter.
Well, sure, but like, you know, even his agent is like, you know, fully on board the Dixon Steel train. Like even after he gets punched in the face,
right?
Like he's still pretty much like, yeah, okay, it's just you had a bad day.
he's the real battered wife in this scenario is his agent.
He really is.
Like they have the most toxic relationship of all. If the movie had been just about the two of them, maybe it would have been a little more compelling.
I would have watched that movie for sure.
Like is the agent married? Does he go home to his wife? And just like, oh, Dick's hit me again. But I gotta get that 12% or whatever agents get. Gotta put food on the table.
Yep. But like, he also just, you know, pops up at Dix's house whenever he feels like it. Him and the drunken actor,
right? The thespian. I enjoyed him a lot.
I did too.
Just recurring comic relief.
He is there at the beginning that he gets insulted, which sets off Dix for the second time. Which I think really cemented me for the, you know what, he is in the right 100%.
Right, yeah, absolutely there as well.
Because he is defending that poor, charming man. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
It's not what I expected. It is, the mystery aspect of it is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Like definitely there is a secondary movie running where the cops are like one of the cops has to be like, no, I really think it's the fiance, and then we follow that guy and his investigation.
It was a Grub movie or a Brub movie.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's all about Brub arguing with his boss. Like, Brub, you're a loose cannon. You play by your own rules.
And clearly there was like some fantastic action sequence that we missed because, when the fiance does wind up confessing, it's because he got shot in the chest.
That's true, and it's all off screen.
Yep.
I loved that. About the way the movie ended, like the relationship between Dix and Laurel has deteriorated, and she's like planning to leave him and not tell him that she's leaving, and he like goes to her place to find her, and he's all mad, and meanwhile Brub is calling to tell them like, hey, everything's great.
Yep.
and I love that we know that that's what's happening. But, like, it makes you as a viewer sort of powerless to watch these people go through this horrible thing.
Right. I like the structure of this movie a lot. I think the idea behind it is pretty excellent. And I think sort of a modernized, better structured movie would really work towards its favor more.
Yeah.
And that's just me and my bias against old movies. I don't know.
I know David Lynch has a thing for stories about women in peril,
Right.
and that's what I thought of while I was watching this movie. It's like, I wonder what David Lynch would do with this, because it really is ultimately just about Laurel. She's the sort of like the audience stand-in character, I feel like, and we go on her journey.
Yeah, more so than Bogart, for sure. I feel like, and then again, maybe this is just another weakness of old movies, and just underwritten female roles.
Sure.
But like, I feel like, or again, maybe it's just because I'm an asshole.
Why can't multiple things be true?
Okay. So I'm an asshole, and this movie was poorly written for women.
Yes. Perfect.
But, I definitely did not feel any connection to Laurel, from the jump.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really sort of undermines, everything else that happens to her.
Sure. Yeah, that makes total sense. She is very thinly written. Like she's written enough through Dixon that you get sort of an idea of her.
Right.
But still, it's all just in relation to her relationship with him or her relationship with a previous boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah, this definitely does not pass the Bechdel test.
No. I had another thought, and it has completely escaped me.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I should write things down.
Hey, you give me shit for taking notes.
I didn't give you shit. I was just saying that the horse's neck is so impressive that it's ingrained itself in my mind.
Well, I mean, that was, like I said, one of two notes that I took.
What was the other note?
Dick Steele is the first thing said in the movie.
So the majority of your note-taking took place within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Was that before you fell asleep?
So I started trying to watch this Tuesday. I made it 15 minutes in before passing out, and then just stopped.
All right.
And then my rewatch today, you had texted me saying that you might be a little late, so it gave me sort of a time frame, and I watched about an hour of the movie, and then I paused it and said, you know what, I'm going to take this moment to take a tiny nap.
That's nice. That sounds nice.
Yeah, so at least this one was planned.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, semi-planned.
Right. You had the forethought to pause it and everything.
Because, the first time it was... I fell asleep shortly after Dixon and Myrtle. What's her name?
Mildred. Myrtle. Dixon and Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. So Dixon takes Myrtle to his house, and then I fell asleep.
Oh, just like Dixon did.
Yeah. And then when I woke up, Dixon was being questioned by the police. So I was just like, oh, a ton of shit must have happened.
That's actually, like, I almost feel like that's the ideal way to watch the movie. Is like, because we see everything that happens between Dixon and her.
Yeah.
Like, if we had seen it from Laurel's perspective, where she sees this couple, or she sees him with her, and then they go into the apartment, and then she sees him later, while Mildred is in the background screaming "help, help" over and over again while she tells this story.
Right.
Like, it would have been, it might have been more interesting if we'd had more, like, if we hadn't seen what happened and there was a little bit more doubt for the viewer about about what had happened. I think it still does a good job making you think, like, oh, he's totally capable of this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I still feel like it was pretty pat that, no, he didn't do it.
No, yeah. I think you cracked the story on this.
Yeah.
And that it needed to be told from Laurel's perspective entirely.
Yay! There is another movie. It's an Alfred Hitchcock movie, and it's called Suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget who the female lead in it is. But
is it a pretty blonde that he abused?
I probably.
Okay.
But the male lead is Cary Grant,
mm-hmm.
and she gets together with Cary Grant, and then there's like all this suspicion. Joan Fontaine is the female lead in that movie.
Okay.
But like there is mysterious circumstances around the death of his first wife, and so basically she spends the whole movie like suspicious that he, and her paranoia grows as the movie continues, that he is behind the death of his first wife. And then in the end, it turns out that he didn't do it at all because the studio made Hitchcock change the ending because people wouldn't want to see Cary Grant as a murderer. But yeah, this reminded me a lot of that, like the thing I described with Laurel as the POV character,
right.
Is basically Suspicion, which I have spoiled for you completely.
It's fine. I'll forget, so you can pick it like in 3 weeks.
Perfect. And I know you don't listen to these again, so...
No, I do not. So, my girlfriend and I, we didn't have a fight, but we had a very serious discussion that actually stemmed from our Collateral episode.
Oh no!
And mostly just because I totally forget. I mean, as soon as we finish talking, like, I forget everything about what we've just talked about.
Right. You have June Diane Raphael syndrome.
Yes. So she sent me a snap with like some text on it, like, "This is my face if you asked me to watch a Fast and the Furious movie." And I was just like, "Oh, okay," you know. And then she texted me later talking about like an ex of hers whose favorite actor was Tom Cruise.
Oh wow!
And so like this sparked a discussion, and I was like, you know, where did this come from? You know, she's like, well, I was listening to your Collateral episode. It's like, I thought when I sent you the snap about, you know, this is what my face would look like, you know, for a Fast and Furious movie, like, you know, that you'd get the reference, you know, because that's what Joe's wife, you know, her face, when, you know. And I was like, babe, I do not remember any of this. I mean,
I don't remember that either.
Like, we recorded it a month ago. I forgot it instantly as soon as we stopped recording.
You barely cut these together.
I seriously. But yeah, no, you mentioned that Jenny would not be amused if every time you suggest that you want to watch a Fast and the Furious movie. And Stephanie's face was very similar.
All right. Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah.
They're not invited to our Fast and the Furious podcast.
Damn straight.
Oh.
Anywho.
Yeah.
In a lonely place.
Yeah. Did you think he was gonna go kill himself at the end?
No.
I definitely did.
Really?
I thought that he was gonna go down those stairs and like he sort of pauses and considers going back into his apartment before he just walks away. And I thought for sure he was gonna go into his apartment and we were gonna hear a gunshot.
Nah.
That might have been a little dark for 1950 though.
I mean, you know, as a guy who is always willing to consider suicide for almost every reason, you know, in, you know, everything that I watch and do, No, like it never occurred to me.
All right.
Like I figured he would just go and get really drunk and sad and just sit in his apartment for like weeks with everybody worrying about him. And, eventually he would come out. And, I figured like the beginning of this movie starts with him sort of, people are surprised to see him like he's sort of been disappeared for a while.
Yeah.
And I figured, maybe it's just kind of a cycle.
All right.
Maybe he had already, before this movie started, he had already been accused of murder and broken up with somebody else.
Do you think this movie starts, or this movie ends where it begins?
Possibly.
And they're just caught in a vicious circle, the two of them?
I think so. It's a loop movie for sure.
Like an Eternal Sunshine kind of thing?
Yeah.
But without the memory wiping?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. That's interesting. I like that.
That's what this movie needed as well. More sci-fi.
That's right. Where were the people in rubber suits?
Oh, man. You know what? I've said a lot of negative things about this movie, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it. I can see why I didn't remember anything about it 20 years later. But I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I read a little bit on the Wikipedia about it, and like I said, it was referred to as one of the greatest noir films ever made. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it's good. I think it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah, and I mean it's on Prime. I think their rights are maybe public domain, so it's probably anywhere you look for it.
Sure. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have picked it as your first Bogart movie. But I'm glad you've at least seen one Humphrey Bogart movie now.
Yeah, I'll watch another one.
You should. Yeah. There are definitely better ones out there.
I mean, Casablanca is definitely a missed classic for sure.
Yes.
Or Maltese Falcon, which I think probably would appeal to me more. But
probably.
I should at some point, before I die, see those movies. And then when I'm in heaven, somebody can ask me if I am glad that I saw those movies.
Is this an episode Eric hasn't seen? Yeah. Is that what we're doing now? Because I'm fine with that. As long as I don't have to be a character all the time.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'd prefer you not do that. Just be real.
Okay.
Sean Diston, come on, be real.
I'm as real as they come, baby.
I know you are.
Is anything bringing you joy this week?
I don't know.
Oh no.
You know what? Last night, starting my joy off with sort of an anti-joy.
Okay.
Speaking of my girlfriend, she got COVID.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep. I had not seen her since around Christmas time, and she spent Christmas with lots of her family, and some members of her family unvaccinated and infected, and she wound up catching it. But luckily she works in the healthcare industry, so she has been vaxxed and boosted, probably before any of us all ever did.
Good, nice.
So she was down for about a week. She said she never felt terrible. But she would start out the day pretty good, and then just as the day went on, she would get more tired and get a headache. And that was like the worst of her symptoms.
That's a normal day for me.
I mean, really? Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, Every time I hear about COVID symptoms, I'm just like, well, that's me every single day. So maybe I've got it all the time. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, so we did not get to see each other for a little over a week. And the thing is that our big date nights for our post Christmas was she wanted to watch a Christmas horror movie with me.
Okay.
And we did not get that chance because she has very strict rules about Christmas movies. That you can only watch them in December.
Okay. That sucks.
Yeah, because I mean, I'll fucking watch a Christmas movie any old time.
Yeah.
But she allowed me to have a pass. Since we did not get to see each other, and we watched Gremlins last night.
Excellent.
She had never seen it.
Oh my god.
In fact, she texted me earlier that day to tell me that the movie is older than she is.
What? Oh, fuck.
Not that much older, but
okay,
like a month older than she is.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not dating a child.
I was a little worried there.
Nope, yep, she is well in her 30s.
Being born after 9/11?
Yeah, no. But yeah, she had never seen Gremlins. So we got to watch Gremlins last night, and reconfirming for myself that it is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
And she also loved it and had the I think typical response to Gizmo, in which every time he was on screen, she just went.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
That's the correct response. Yep. Gizmo walked so Baby Yoda could run.
Exactly. You know what? Fuck a bunch of Baby Yoda. So yeah, just watching her watch Gremlins is my joy for the week.
That's awesome.
What about you, sir?
This past weekend, we watched a series on Hulu called Only Murders in the Building.
Ooh, I have only watched 2 episodes, so
I will not spoil anything.
Appreciate it.
But I really enjoyed it.
I have enjoyed what I have watched.
Yeah, it's for those unaware, it's Steve Martin and Martin Short and inexplicably Selena Gomez. And it's sort of a murder mystery.
Yeah.
About all people who live in a specific apartment building in New York.
Yes.
And it's great fun. I thought it was really fun. And maybe a little predictable, but otherwise I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad. I've been in a weird funk lately, in which when I'm just by myself and I'm not with my lady friend or watching something for this show, I do not want to watch anything.
Okay.
And so I have literally only watched Taskmaster for like the last 3 weeks.
Awesome.
On my own. But this, I don't know, sort of invigorates me. I should finish watching Only Murders in the Building.
You should. It's a quick watch too. Like the episodes are pretty short,
right.
And there's only 10 of them.
Yeah.
I found myself wishing there was more as we neared the end of it.
I'd say that's a sign of a good show.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, Steve Martin is great. Martin Short is great. He's not. Jenny has a thing about Martin Short. Where generally she finds him super annoying. That was not the case here.
Well, that's good.
Because he's being, by and large, a normal human being in this.
I mean, like I said, I saw the first 2 episodes. argue against that a little bit, but
I mean, he's not being like Jiminy Glick.
No, okay, fair.
Or Ed Grimley or something. That's what I mean when I say he's being a normal human being.
Clifford.
Yes, he's not Clifford.
All right, that's entirely fair. I do like Martin Short a lot, and but yeah, I can see her point of view on that for sure.
Yeah, no, I totally get it too.
Yeah,
and Selena Gomez grew on me.
All right, I had no issues with her in the first 2 episodes, but also I only have the vaguest idea of who she is, so
I think she's a High School Musical person.
Okay.
Or otherwise a Disney Channel person, I'm pretty sure.
Alrighty. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly more than what I knew. Other than just, a pretty young girl.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right,
Because I'm an old man who is out of touch.
But yeah, she, like I said, she grew on me.
All right.
Which is good, I feel like, is a good thing.
Yeah, I've got a lot of shows I started watching, and I just, like I said, weird funk that I can't pinpoint, but I've just, every time I sit down, I'm just like, I just want to watch Taskmaster.
Sometimes I don't really feel like watching anything. Sometimes I just... There are long stretches where I just don't have the mental energy to have something I need to pay attention to, so right. I just that's how I end up watching, Little House on the Prairie or Ally McBeal or whatever.
Sure. So eventually, I'll get back into finishing Hawkeye and Only Murders in the Building, and I'm sure I should probably watch Boba Fett, and and I guess I should watch The Matrix at some point, and all this other sort of shit that's out there that I've just ignored for, things that I've watched before already.
Sure, yeah. I get that.
Speaking of watching new things, though, should I pick a movie?
If you'd like, go for it.
I would like to, if that's all right.
I'll allow it this time.
I appreciate it.
But watch yourself, Counselor.
So the movie that I am picking, I believe it is on Hulu, last I checked. In fact, I guess I should double check real quick.
Okay.
Luckily, I use the Just Watch app, which allows me to find where things are streaming pretty easily without having to do much fuss.
That's right. Just Watch, free on in the App Store.
Yes.
This is not a paid ad.
Not at all.
We are just fans of this app.
So this movie is indeed on Hulu. It is a movie from last year.
Okay.
It is a movie that was on President Obama's favorite movies of 2021 list.
Ooh, okay.
It is the Nicolas Cage movie called Pig.
Okay. I have not seen this movie.
All right. Do you want to?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I have no reason not to. I mean, if President Obama liked it,
exactly,
I'll probably like it too.
Sure. We're all similar dudes.
I'll probably like it a third time if I could. That's right. We do all like the Spider-Man. Oh boy. Pig. That'll do.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.